Hey guys, what's up? Nick Ortiz, and today we're going to be looking at something I think is very overlooked, and that's hand fighting. I think when you're first starting out in jiu-jitsu, and even when you're a blue belt, purple belt, even some brown and black belts, they let people have positive connections on them for too long. They're susceptible to being off balance. They never feel like they're in a position to be offensive, and it's mainly because they're not addressing the hand fight. They're not addressing the opponent's positive grips on them. So we're never in a position where, as somebody has a grip on us, we're not so absent-minded to just forget about it. That's the first thing we look to disconnect. We disconnect their positive grips, and then from there, we work to get into a better position for ourselves. From disconnecting their positive grips, we have a positive grip of our own, and then we look to move around and get closer and closer to either a pin or a submission attempt. So Camille is seated, I'm standing. First things first, we have a right leg lead. The right leg splits the center line. I don't want to be square because now I'm susceptible to being off balance with double koichi or whatever Camille wants to do, wrestles up from bottom, that sort of thing. So we're here. I have my lead hand blocking my lead leg and my rear hand to gauge distance. From here, occasionally your opponent sees the lead hand and they look to take a 2-on-1. If I'm in this position, I don't want to pull away because now all of my weight's on my heels, and if Camille lets go, I'm stumbling backwards, and she could use that to her advantage to heist up. I don't really want to come forward either, because as I'm coming forward, Camille can just pull me in, get inside position, and make me take steps forward to go into ashigarami, whatever she wants to do from here. So again, it's all about dealing with this grip. So as soon as she makes this grip, I'm never going palm down, 4 fingers up. As you can see, my elbow isn't retracting towards my ribs. So this is a very weak pull. And Camille, as you can see, it doesn't really affect her grip. But what I look to do is I want to bring my elbow back to my ribs. That's a very, very strong structure. So the way I do this is 4 fingers down, palm facing the ceiling. I bring my elbow towards my ribs, and I break the grip immediately. Now, 2 things. I could either bring my elbow to the center line and break the grip, or if your partner's really strong, left hand lets go, slap the grip and bring the elbow to the center line, like so. Take your right hand to the tricep and take a step, so now hands are occupied. And as you can see, I've created a bit of an angle. From this position, I can take my left hand, posting on the neck so that weight is on the hand. I can crescent step, and now from here, I've effectively gotten behind Camille. She has to take the responsibility of defending her back by putting it to the mat, but that's okay. We're past the legs, and if we're good at passing from this position, getting around the legs from their supine guard, we can start to separate knee and elbow, get chest to chest, and start to close distance. Now this time, Camille gets a 2-on-1, but she slides her left hand up, and now it's a 2-on-1 elbow. Camille can do a great job at pulling me across and start to off-balance me. This is no good. So first things first, always stripping the grip on the wrist. Again, palm up, 4 fingers down, strip the grip. But as you can see, I can't really pull my elbow. Camille wants my elbow to go across, but I can get inside position. So I pummel my hand through as an inside bicep tie. Then I take my right hand and lock up with a collar tie. From here, use the collar tie. Left leg takes a step, and we make sure that we post our partner's hand down to the mat. Now, switch your collar tie with left hand here, thumb posting on the neck. We put weight on the hand, we crescent step, and again, we have an angle to force our opponent back into a supine guard. Now this time, as we're coming forward, a lot of the times we like to reach with the rear hand, and this is a good thing for our opponent to utilize to get a 2-on-1. So when we come in, what I want to do is I want to reach with the rear hand to gauge distance, then take my rear hand off and replace it with my head so we're head to head. But if I do this, Camille can take a 2-on-1. From here, from the 2-on-1, as you can see, it's tough for me to pull her grip away because it's not, the weakness of the grip is towards the fingers. I'm not really doing that. If I pull in this direction, her hand will slide up my forearm and it'll stay connected. So what I need to do is I need to expose the bottom of her wrists. So take your elbow and just point it towards the camera. From here, that exposes the bottom of Camille's left wrist, so my right hand punches down, like so. Now, if you need this grip off of your wrist on your left-hand side, right hand comes up as your left hand cuts down, like so. Then from here, left hand grabs the tricep. We have our 2-on-1 elbow, pull across, and get the hand down to the mat. From here, thumb posting on the neck, you want to apply pressure so that it's difficult for them to turn into you. We can crescent step, cut the corner, and create an angle so that now our opponent feels threatened, potentially either getting their back to the mat or we attack their back because they're slow. So with that being said, guys, conceptually, the idea is to just make sure that if anybody makes a grip on you, you're addressing the grip. And if you're breaking those grips, you're always a step ahead. It's a battle of inches. It's a war of attrition. So any little battle that we can win, it's very, very, very likely that we're going to be the ones who assert ourselves. And if we can assert ourselves offensively, then we're one step closer to victory. If we're always on the back foot, that's because we're not really addressing the important things our opponent is doing. Maybe they're off balancing us, but they have to off balance us with a good connection. And if we never strip that connection, then it's all downhill from there. So make sure you have a positive grip on your opponent doesn't have a positive grip on you. Thanks for watching, guys.